Hello everybody, this is JD. What am I going to be talking to you about today? Why this thing tries to autofocus. Your Social Security, not mine, yours. See, I'm already 63 years old. I've already started collecting my Social Security, so my Social Security is already locked in. I'm talking to you people who are 40, 30, who are 20, who are 18, 19 years old. You people. The purpose of Social Security, what it's supposed to do, what it can do, and what is the biggest enemy to Social Security. First, understand Social Security is not a retirement program. It's a supplement. Supplement means it adds to your retirement so that it's a little more comfortable than having none or very little. The way it works is that you give money to the government that they put into a program, and they use it to pay the people who are in retirement now, and when you get to retire, the people who are working then pays into the program, and that gives you your money. Now that would be a good program, and it would work quite well, except for something. The thieves. What thieves am I talking about? I'm not talking about the people who don't pay into Social Security and get money out of it through SSI and all that. Those are minor compared to the real thieves. The real thieves are your congressmen and presidents of the past. They used the money that was in Social Security, that was supposed to be a lockbox, to pay for some of their pet peeves, like the Vietnam War. That's why there's no money in Social Security. That's why it's going to make them bust. They haven't replaced the billions of dollars they took out. They spent it on a war. The security of our nation, the economic security of the people, was spent on a war that nobody but the government wanted to wage. Now, what should we do? First and foremost, make our government responsible to us for that money. In other words, tell the government that, hey, there's no shortcuts around it. You owe the money, you put it back in, then we'll talk about something. But until every red cent is put back into the Social Security program that has been stolen by the federal government for other functions, there's no changing to the program. This is the way it is. This is the way people put it in. You're out of luck. And if the government tries to complain and say, whoa, wait, we don't have... Say, next time, don't wage war. If we're not attacked, you have no reason, the federal government of the United States, to wage war on another country, just because their individual doctrine is different than ours. You don't go around waging war against nations just because they look at life a different way than we do. As long as they do not directly attack us, there is nothing that says they can't be what they want to be. There is something that says we should not attack them. If we're not attacked, we should not go and attack first. This preemptive strike crap is only an excuse. The truth of the matter is, the federal government is crying about Social Security only because they already spent the money elsewhere. Not on Social Security, not on the Social Security program as it was set up, but on their ability to wage war throughout the world. Okay? If the federal government wants to wage war, it must get the approval from the people. And the way it gets that approval from the people is through its taxes. Because if the people do not want or at all agree with the war, they won't support it. The people supported World War I through war bonds and a bunch of other things. the people would not support the Vietnam War. Soldiers went over there and died, young men, because our country said you either go over there and die or you go to jail. They stole the money out of Social Security to pay for the war. Look at what we're getting here. Our country, to fight quote-unquote communism, became an extremely dictatorship type of a government. We take your money whether you like it or not, and you go fight the war whether you like it or not. That's what Vietnam was. I was in it then. The bottom line is Social Security, young people, is a retirement supplement that unless you, the people, demand it be kept and let the federal government figure out how to put that money back, it will not be there for you. When the federal government realizes that it does not have ultimate free hand with our monies, our taxes that we pay in, then, and only then, will our government become responsible to us again. Your Social Security program has been stolen and needs to be reinstalled. The people who took it need to put it back. Our federal government. Some of the people are in there now, but most of them are gone and they don't really care because they don't have to answer for it, but the people in Congress now do. And they got to say, whoa, this is a tough thing to do. But it is a tough thing to do, but they can do it. There is a cost for waging war. Our federal government must realize that cost. To wage war just for the sake of waging war because people disagree with the way you run your government is not satisfactory. That is not the United States way. That is not the American people. That's not supposed to be the government. Look at what we are and where we're at right now. We're in Afghanistan. That is a legal and binding war. We were attacked. 3,000 Americans died because we were attacked by groups out of Afghanistan, and Afghanistan wished to protect them. So therefore we did have that right. Even in their own religious manuals, books, Qurans, whatever you want to call them, they said we had the right. We were supposed to do a jihad on Afghanistan, according to the Quran. The women and children that they killed, innocent women and children, for no reason at all, but their own personal gains. And that's all it was. Bin Laden's personal gains, Al-Qaeda's personal gains, and nothing more. And they killed women and children. That's the truth. There was a justification for war. Now let's talk about what happened after that also. Iraq. What makes the federal government think they had the right to go into Iraq and spend those billions and billions of dollars? They don't. Those people didn't wage war on us. They were not attacking us. They weren't even killing a single American. Well, they might have had weapons of mass destruction that Hussein got rid of. They might have had, but they were not attacking Americans. Bush had no right. As far as the American Constitution and the people are concerned, Bush would be classified as a war criminal for attacking. And those congressmen and senators committed acts of treason by causing that war to happen. What they wanted to do backfired. Had nothing to do with oil, had nothing at all. They wanted a friendly ally that would last them for years. It didn't happen that way, though, did it? So, bottom line, the United States is not a warring nation. To be prepared for war is one thing. To viciously go and attack a nation because we disagree with their political doctrine is ridiculous and should never happen. Yes, I'm a presidential candidate. I do not believe in war. Oh, I do not believe in war. And if you must put me in a position where I have to have a war, I will not play games. I will fight. And I do not fight to play games because I don't play games. If I was a president where the Twin Towers fell, let's put it this way. We wouldn't be fighting Afghanistan today because it would have been all over with within a couple of days. It would not have lasted this long. Definitely not have lasted this long. So, what about your Social Security, the younger people? What are you going to do about it? You must hold Congress accountable. If you make them have to stick to the program, if you make them have to refurbish all the money they stole, if you make them have to stand by the rules, stand on the line, you will control the warring powers of our government because they will realize they cannot just war against a nation just for the sake of war, just because they differ than what we are. I mean, truthfully, we borrowed money for the Iraq war. We borrowed money from the Afghanistan war from China. We couldn't do that during Vietnam because China was supporting North Vietnam. And it wouldn't make sense for them to lend us money to fight war. We had to come with it ourselves. So they stole from the people. It is time to realize your Social Security must be reinstalled, repaid back, and the federal government must learn war is the last resort and is not used just for the sake of a difference of political ideology. If we're not attacked, there's no reason for war. Thank you. This is JD, and yes, I am a political candidate for 2012. Not much longer. I'm about ready to drop out, just like Rick Santora, unless you people start realizing what is it you want. The same political machines, or someone who's going to stand up for you, the individual. For you're the one that matters in this country. Nobody else. Thank you. This is JD.